welcome back to Mika Reacts and Reviews, where we react and review things on the internet. And today we'll be reacting and reviewing Tom MacDonald's White Boy. This will be a reaction review, meaning I have seen this music video before, but I'm going to be reviewing it, breaking down, and giving you my perspective of the video. So welcome Hog Fam, Hangover Gang, and let's get right into it.
I cannot feel guilty for that I didn't do, but I can understand the reasons why you think that I should. Yeah, I'm white, but I never put your neck in no noose, and I never burnt a cross or hit my face with a hood. You can't just lay.
Okay, so the first couple of bars, I cannot feel guilty for some ish I didn't do, which is, I completely agree with it. It's like, for say example, like let's say my grandfather, which this is completely fabricated, my grandfather did something wrong, like, I don't know, hurt a neighbor's kid, or like killed someone, or ran over someone's dog, and then like generations and generations and generations later, you expect me to be guilty for something that someone I'm related did? Like, no, I'm only accountable for myself, and they're accountable for what they did. I think like the idea of white guilt is so cringe and gross, and it's just another way to like virtue signal and try to like tell the world that you're one of the good white people. Like, it's you didn't do anything wrong, so you shouldn't feel guilty for it. You can be empathetic and you can be sympathetic and you can understand someone's grief, but you should not be held accountable for that. And I also want to squash the myth that every white person is somehow related or descendants of a slave owner or a slave master. Slave owners and slave masters were the elite back in those days. They were the rich of the rich. So if you were not rich, you did not have slaves. Or if you weren't at least upper middle class or something, whatever was considered upper middle class and rich back then. So if you were a poor white person, you were a poor white person with no slaves. I believe it was like 20% of white people that were living back then, that where slavery was legal, owned slave, 20%. So not everybody. Now you can make the argument that somehow everybody benefited indirectly of slavery, even if they didn't own slaves, but you can say the same thing of people today. Like, if you have any type of electronics, smartphone, iPhone, Mac computer, anything, if you shop at Forever 21, Hot Topic, you are indirectly benefiting for the labor of someone who's getting paid pennies on an hour and working in horrible situations, sweatshops and children. If you are alive today, especially in the Western world, you are somehow benefiting from somebody else's suffering. So you can say that about anyone, but no, not every white person is descendant of slave owners. And I totally agree with what Tom MacDonald was saying. He didn't do it. He didn't put your neck in a noose. He didn't wear a hood or anything like that. So we need to like stop making every white person, especially white cis males, like accountable for something they weren't even like a thought at the time. So let's continue.
Label me racist because I'm related to people who did some terrible way back before I was alive. My parents brought me up to treat everyone as an equal. I refuse to feel ashamed because of my pretty blue eyes. And I
refuse to feel ashamed of my pretty blue eyes. That bar. So you can hear or go to any black neighborhood or any black college and see a group of people screaming, "I'm black and I'm proud, I'm black and I'm proud." I was taught from the moment I came out of my mommy's womb that I need to be proud of who I am, proud of my pretty brown skin, my eyes, my hair texture, everything about being black is beautiful, and I need to be proud of it. And I totally believe in that. I think pride of like my ancestral, but not like personal pride, because I didn't actually do anything. I was just born this way. But like, I was hanging out with some friends in Thailand. If you don't know, I travel full time, and we were me and this other black girl, and it was this white girl and like another person, I can't remember. And I don't know, the white girl kind of just said like, "Oh my god, I love being me, I love being white," or something like that. And I remember like when she said it, I was like, why does that make me feel so like, ooh, like, I don't know. Me and the other black girl like looked at each other, and I said, maybe she has alternative reasons why she said that, but at the same time, the word she said just on like what she said, not trying to read into it. Why can't she be proud of who she is, but I can be proud of who I am all day, every day, even though there's some fucked up people in my bloodline who've done fucked up shit? Why shouldn't I feel ashamed about what they've done? So, like, yeah, like, you should not be told from the moment that you're born that there's something wrong with you, that you're toxic, that you're internally racist, just because of the way that you were born. We fought against that for so long, but now it's like the reverse, the opposite. If you're white, you should feel ashamed. If you're a male, you should feel ashamed. If you're straight, you should feel ashamed, even though you've done nothing to deserve that shame. All right, let's move on.
White supremacist. Anyone who labels me as that because of my family genetics. The hatred for Caucasians is so pathetic. Go be proud that you're black, but don't hate me for some credit. I'm not the white devil.
Exactly. Be proud that you're black, but you hate them for some credit. And the hate for white people is really pathetic. It's such like low-hanging fruit. You know what I mean? There are people who literally like build their whole entire identity on hating white people or hating men. And that's why, like, if you speak anything out against their opinions, they take it so personal, because that is like who they are in their core, and they've built everything on that. People build their whole careers off of this. People write books and become activists and journalists off of this idea. But it's so passé and so old and so boring and so lazy. Like, I've been hearing this from the moment I was born. I was born into a racist ass family, Nation of Islam. I was told from the jump that white people were the devil and all these things. I've been hearing this my entire life, so the whole conversation and topic of it is so boring to me. Like, move the fuck on. It's like, people don't want to like really change anything, because if they really would want to change something, they would have to talk about the actual hard topics. But if they just go like, oh, it's just white people's fault, then they don't really have to do anything but complain on the internet, right? Because I don't have to do anything. It's your fault. You did it. It's your problem. It's all your mistakes. You have to fix it, or just die or go away or something like that. I don't know. To me, it's a lazy, boring conversation. Let's move on.
Neo-Nazi cop trying to pull the trigger. You can call me what you want, but I'd still never say the white race as a whole ain't the enemy. There's racist white people, but we're far from that collectively. White boy, don't say.
Exactly, there's racist white people for sure, 100%. But guess what? There are racist black people, there are racist Hispanic people, there are racist Asian people, there are racist Indian people, there are racist people in every class, group, community, culture, origin, whatever you can think of. There are racist people. This idea that white people are the only people that can be racist is so stupid, such a lie, and such a lazy idea. Again, like, think beyond that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like, fuck the neo-Nazis, fuck the actual KKK, fuck the actual racists out there. And the thing is, like, being racist is such a, like, small-minded, low-level thinking, low-level consciousness, vibration, energy. Is such a pathetic mindset. It's like, why are you even wasting your breath and your energy on someone that is pathetic? Like, that you still don't like someone just the base of the color of their skin, and you find some sort of superiority just on the base of your skin when you've actually accomplished absolutely nothing in life. It is so like unevolved, and we give them so much attention and so much clout and like so much like space in our minds and our heart that it's like not even worth it. Move on.
That white boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy.
Yeah, that whole like white people wish they were black, they want to be us but they don't really want to be us kind of like narrative and saying, yeah, right now black is hip and trendy and all lit and shit like that. And you know, in like real life, if he really stood up and said this, like, he would probably be dragged out of school. But everyone in class, especially the white people, would be like secretly like, oh my god, I wish I had balls to say that shit, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna virtual signal and act like everything he's saying is not true. Let's continue.
If a black man is sipping on some cognac sitting next to me, I don't assume that every black...
Okay, so let's talk about the actual video. I've been talking a lot about the message. I love the distorted tone. I am a rock and roll girl, so I love anything that like mix a little bit of like grunge edge rock to any type of music. And let's also say, like, oh, not all, but there's a nice amount of Tom MacDonald's videos that are, and I'm saying this as a compliment, not as a diss. Like, Tom MacDonald is a smart businessman. He does not break the bank on his videos, but he somehow still get you like some good imagery and tell you the story and get his point across without all the flash and all the glitz. So I believe him when he says he makes 12 mil or his gross income is 12 mil, because like he's a smart man. He's not going to throw a few $100,000 on a video where he can simply get a classroom, do a song, and still get the message across. That's really, really smart. And it shows you, if you are an independent artist or if you're an artist of any kind, that you do not need this giant team behind you to make a video. You know what I mean? You need a nice camera, a decent camera, some decent lighting, and the creativity to get your point across. So I really do appreciate that about Tom MacDonald. Not that I don't mind flashy videos once in a while, but I appreciate that as like someone who thinks about these things. I'm an entrepreneur, so I do think about these things when it comes to finances and budgeting and stuff like that. All right, let's continue.
If a black man is sipping on some cognac sitting next to me, I don't assume that every black's favorite drink is Hennessy. I don't dislike Tanisha because her first name isn't Stephanie. Not only is that wrong, it's a waste of energy.
Such a waste of energy, and it's vice versa. Like looking at someone and just assuming you know their whole life story. And when people like look at me, especially like progressives and people like that, like super woke people, especially white people, who like look at me and completely think, I know your story, I know your lived experience, I know your ideology, I know your beliefs. It's so stupid. And again, small-minded, narrow-minded, low level of like thinking. And again, like I said before, like this idea like being racist is such like a waste of energy. Like you said, it's so like dumb. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. It just like, yeah, like you said, like I'm not that. It's a waste of energy, and I'm not going to assume anything about you. So I appreciate vice versa that you don't assume anything about me.
Ivory or ebony, 45 or 17, we all bleed the same, Martin Luther King or Kennedy. They're angry, I'm reciting the facts. He's white and he raps, he stole the culture right from the blacks. Okay, he's fine.
Exactly. You're angry because I'm stating the facts. You're angry because I'm stating the facts. Exactly. Like if this was real life, you'll be dragged out of campus, but all the people in classroom will be thinking in their head like, he's right, but I don't got the balls to say it.
But we lit the flame, we siphoning gas. So this corny little honky man, the whitey is whack. You letting history perpetuate the hatred within, and then you paint me with the brush you painted slave owners with.
Exactly. Some of the most wokest of woke really want to walk around here acting as if nothing has changed, nothing has gotten better, that you are just as racist as a slave master with the whip. And we've already mentioned before, I think only maybe 20% of white people that were living back then when slavery was legal owned. So yeah, like it's not all the same. Like I am not who my father was, I'm not who my grandfather was, I'm not who my ancestors was. I am me, and if I feel that way and I want you to respect that about me, then why would I not give the same respect to other people? Like everybody wants the like benefit of the doubt for themselves, but then they don't want to give the benefit of the doubt to anybody else, right?
White boy, be a white boy. White boy, white noise. I can't say it with my white voice. White boys, white lies. Don't tell me how to see it through my white eyes. I got a mother, a father, a sister, an auntie, an uncle, and a grandma that I picture when you're openly hating. And God willing, one day I'll have a kid of my own. I refuse to let you blindly hate my wife and my babies.
Exactly. So a lot of people feel like white people should just sort of take their lashings. Like you just shut up, be quiet, sit down and listen to our lived experiences and listen to our anger and listen to our tears and listen to our pain and just shut up, right? That whole saying of like, oh my god, whites just smell tears, boo-hoo you, or whatever. But it's like, no, like they are human beings, and you should understand the nature of human beings. They're self-preservation, right? You're not going to sit there and just sit down and take telling me that I have to like allow my kids to be raised in a world where they're being told constantly that they are the problem, that they are the issue, that everything wrong in the world, in the universe, on this planet is your problem, that you are racist no matter what you say, no matter what you do in your life, you will always be a racist, like basically born racist or subconscious racists or subconscious biases, where this ever expanding of the idea of what racism is, so it never goes away as perpetual racism. Like, no, like, I get what they're, in a way, what they're saying, and and but I don't agree with it. It's like, look, we had to take it and we had to go through this, so now it's your turn. And it's not supposed to be tit for tat. It's supposed to be moving to equality, not tit for tat, like, well, we had to do it, so now you gotta do it. Like, no. Like, if black people didn't like being told, like, this is your place in the world and this is your place in your place for your children, of course the other way around, there's not gonna like it too, and they're gonna fight against it, and it's just gonna create more of a division in our country. Moving on.
So go ahead and hate the racists. I pray for their extinction. If you want to hate the white people, just make the distinction between the ones who want the best for everyone regardless and the ones who build the system.
I think we all pray for the extinction of racist people. I personally believe that we can transcend racism. Do I think racism, especially when it comes to prejudice or biases, will ever completely go away? No, I don't believe in a utopia. I think, again, we can move so far away from it, but I think it's actually human nature to be prejudiced and biased. You can see it in the animal kingdom. Of course, as you become adults, more educated, more aware, you confront your own prejudice and your biases and you try to change them, but I just think that's like a human nature type of thing. Continue.
Just to smother you with hardship. Stop before you say it. I know what you've been thinking. How's a straight white male and
it's the one that built the system. It's the one that built the system that you guys keep voting back in office over and over and over again, because they play on your emotions. They play on that race card. They play on that gender card. They play on that sexual orientation card and tell you that they're going to be your heroes when they've literally been in office for decades and they built the system and the institutions that you're complaining about. You know what I mean? We just voted somebody in that's been in office for 50 years and have done nothing good for us, but only just add more destruction to the black community. But for some reason, I guess he's changed now. Yeah. Okay, sorry, my computer froze again. It's an old ass fucking computer, but we're gonna continue. I'm pretty sure this is where we left off, right?
Stop before you say it. I know what you've been thinking. How's a straight white male in 2018? You're making me the villain by.
You got balls, because most people, when I first heard this song, I was like, oh shit. I really thought that Tom MacDonald had like was begging to be canceled, because dude, like, find me anybody who's white, male, straight, who would say this shit right now. Like, one person. I mean, anybody. Like, whether you agree.
Demonizing my race for things I didn't do and decisions I didn't make. No one that I call a friend has ever owned a slave, and neither did our dads or our dads' dads. Sakes, acknowledging atrocities were wrongly committed is all that I can offer while I'm wrongly convicted. I would never hate a man for what God gave him in pigments, and I would never plot against him just because he is different. I would never judge a human for the cards he was given, or call him lesser than myself because of the race that he's mixed with. White people that you hate aren't your neighbors or lawyers. They're the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bushes, and Royals. It's
the elites. Those are the ones who've been controlling the world. They don't give a fuck about the poor white trash guy on the trailer park. Sorry. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care about anybody. If you poor, if you middle class, if you have no generational wealth, then you are powerless in this world, no matter what race you are. Not powerless, but I'm saying, like, you do not have special privileges that really makes that big of a difference if you are not rich. The rich are the ones who control the world. Like that, he said that the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the people who fucking sell oil, the people who've been exchanging war weapons in all the countries, the people who have been putting world banks in every single country. Anyway, let's continue. Oh, and I like the thing that he said, like, he's not the racist. And the thing is, I said this in another video, that I didn't a video on my other channel, and I was about an article saying how like we were on a brink of sort of transcending racism in a way. Like we were becoming, as a society as a whole, less racist because of integrations and inclusions in our neighborhoods, our communities, our schools, our churches, and all those things, because it is just psychologically easier to hate something and to discriminate against someone that you don't know. You don't know them. There's like a distance. So like if you grew up in a tiny little town in Timbuktu and you had no interactions with anyone outside of your community, then it's easy to believe a stereotype or believe something that's negative about that person because you have no interaction. You're ignorant, basically, in a sense. But when you have interactions of so many different cultures, so many different people, it becomes psychologically harder for you to hold on to those stereotypes and negative ideas because you befriended them, you're dating them, they're your neighbors, they're your friends, they're your classmates, and so it just becomes harder. But again, because the powers that be wants to keep us divided because they can control and conquer, they started to expand the idea of sort of racism, so it makes it seem like it's not going away. Like, oh, racism is not just hating someone or disliking someone purely based off the color of their skin. Racism is no longer thinking you're superior because of your color of your skin or someone's inferior because of their race. Racism is now privilege plus power. So actually racism is still just as rampant and abundant as it was back in slavery time. So it never goes away. So it can keep us divided, keep us angry at each other, and so they can keep control. Moving on.
With drugs that they spoiled, got no patience for Nazis. I think they're better off dead. The fighting hate.
Agreed. Nazis should die. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna kill them, but like I wouldn't cry if they perished.
With hatred making the hate more intense. I don't want nothing to do with either side of the fence, so don't blindly attack me for wearing braids on my head. Hate the people.
The whole cultural appropriation thing is, again, such low-hanging fruit and so lazy. I really do think, like, if you listen to Dr. Jordan Peterson, I agree with him with the whole clean your room thing, because it's like people attach themselves to all these other issues so they don't have to actually look at their own selves and their own problems and fix their own shit. So it's like, it's this, it's that, it's this, you know. You're like, someone sent me an article about black scenting, like on my Facebook, and they asked me what did I think, and I was like, why do I care about what some teeny bopper is doing on Instagram? Why am I going to take the time out of my day and use my mental and emotional energy on what some teenager is doing on Instagram? It's like we're constantly being told to be outraged, to be angry at this and this and this and this and this, and you don't realize why you're so fucking miserable all the time, because you're choosing to be angry and upset at the littlest things that don't matter. When you're on your deathbed, you're not going to be sitting there going, oh, I wish less white people wore braids. Oh, I wish that 15-year-old didn't have an urban accent. If only. That is not what you're going to be thinking about on your deathbed, because ultimately it doesn't matter and it's petty. Move the fuck on. Sorry.
Who believe you put yourselves in the ghetto. Hate the ones who teach their children you ain't cause they said so. Hate the ones who think you're all the same and judge you profusely cause the way that you're portrayed on our news and in movies, being white and
exactly. Put your attention to the real racists and the real people and the real issues in this world, in this society, which is usually the rich of the rich, the elites and elites, and the ones that we keep voting back into office and giving power over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah, and the whole portraying in our movies and our music and stuff like that, a lot of black people are guilty of that too. Okay, like Love and Hip Hop is produced and created by a black woman. Some of the most raucous and ignorant stuff that black people are portrayed in are now starting to be created by other black people. So we can't sit there and blame that all on white people anymore, okay? We got stuff to do with that too, and we watch it. We give it our eyeballs. We give it our views. That is, again, why there's been so many Love and Hip Hops created, so many reality TV shows that just shows toxicity in the black community, why Cardi B's and Nicki Minaj is bigger than any underground black female artist that has way more to say. We give it our views. So if you want to keep bitching and complaining about the way we're portrayed in movies and music videos, stop watching it. Stop watching it. It's really that simple. All right? And there's tons of people of color who are sick of that, but not enough. Not enough. I'm not saying, again, there's no place for trash entertainment, but where's the fucking diversity? Yeah, Black Twitter don't like Blackish. You know, the ones the slightly positive show about black people. There was a reality show called Love and Real Estate or something like that. It was a reality show about black realtors. Guess what people said about it? It was boring. So when they give you something different, you don't watch it. You say it's boring. You want the baby mamas. You want the drama. You want the getting 5 girls pregnant at the same time. Boring. Continue.
Being racist aren't the same, man, I promise. No, it's hard to tell the difference if I'm just being honest. I deserve the chance to show you I'm not part of the problem, and you owe it to yourselves. We got so much in common. White boy.
Yes, we have so much more in common than we don't. And the funny thing is I'm getting political, and I know, but people of color and lots of other communities, women in the pride community, have been so duped into like believing that like Republicans are all these hateful white men that they don't even give them the time of the day to like hear their side of the story. But coming back to the black community, like black people have way more in common with conservatives than they do white liberals. Like way more in common. But we've been so brainwashed to thinking like no, like all conservatives are all racist and all white, and we all know that. But that's so not true. I'm not a conservative. I have conservative values. I'm a libertarian. But like it's just weird. Like we have so much more in common, but again, the higher ups, the powers that be, need us to stay divided. This is not news. This is not like this revolutionary woke thing to say. This has been said so many times, and on an individual level, I think people understand that. But then like we all still just play back into the system over and over and over again, because everybody's like so hard set and holding on to that ideology. And I do think like people of color think that if we like kind of lean towards that idea that somehow it's going to benefit us in a long time, people looking at you like a victim, like a perpetual victim, in the long run does not benefit you. Because people don't pick victims to be on our team when it comes to building success. People pick winners. You want to be seen as a winner, not a victim. So we need to stop buying into this narrative and it's perpetuating this these talking points. We have more in common than we do not, and we need to come together in this country, in this world. Will continue to be divided and fall apart if we do not. And the powerful will get more powerful, the elite will grow more, get more money, the richer will get richer, and the poor will just get poorer, because we're not actually paying attention to what we need to be paying attention to, which is the ones again who built the system. Okay, let's continue.
Don't say that.
And I disagree with him when he said that it's hard to tell the difference. It's not hard to tell the difference. Just don't assume. That's it. Don't assume things about people. Get to know them, and then you can find out by talking to them, hanging out with them, whether they're racist or not. I don't think that's hard at all. That's like common sense and just good human nature. Like I don't know. Like I don't see how that's so difficult not to just like make up assumptions about people. If you don't want assumptions about you, then don't have assumptions about others. It's really that simple. It's like elementary. Like literally a 5-year-old can tell you that.
White boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy,
I hate the crying black man. That's like the one thing I'm kind of like, we could have X'd that out the video, because I don't think he would be crying. I think he would be more angry if anything. Like I don't understand why he's like sobbing, like oh my god you're so racist it hurts, or oh my god you're telling the truth that it hurts. Like I don't know, I could have done without the crying black man. Like he looks such like a man child or something. Okay, let's continue.
White boy.
Don't tell me how to see it through my white eyes. My interpretation of that is like, look, you don't want me to tell you what your lived experiences are, so don't tell me what mine is. Don't tell me that I'm like subconsciously racist or subconsciously biased, or just because I was born this way that means this and this and this. Don't tell me. If you don't want me to tell you how to be a woman, or what it's like to be a woman, or what it's like to be black, then don't tell me what it's like to be me. Alright, or who I am, or what I think, or how I feel. So that's my interpretation of the don't tell me how to see it through my white eyes. And I know that I'm not breaking down the bar from bar, because I know that most of you might have already heard the song, and I just really want to give my perspective instead. Plus, I don't have a good screen recorder, so I can't keep going back, like rewinding it and going and rewinding it. So let's continue.
Don't say that, white boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy.
That was White Boy by Tom MacDonald. Let's scroll down. It has, I'm bad with numbers, but it has over 15 million views, which is a lot. Over 300,000 likes. That should tell you something. And almost 50,000 dislikes. 300,000, over 300,000 and 40 to 45,000 dislikes is a really good ratio. I mean, 45,000 a lot, but 300,000 likes, which tells you a lot. I'm gonna read some comments. I'm gonna try to make a habit on this channel to read a couple of comments because I'm an avid comment reader. I love comments. Okay, so we're gonna read the first one. Raku Sloth, looks like he's an anime fan. This song is 2 years old and makes more sense today than 2 years ago. I agree with that, especially 2 months ago. This is right around the election time. So yeah, and it has 70 replies, so a lot of people like that comment. The other one is Evo J, also 3 months ago. As a black person, I agree with this song, and frankly I sing along with the chorus. When I first heard this song, I was like, I think it might have been like Straight White Male, which I would also review, or this one. I can't remember. I'm not gonna look for my responses. I did leave a comment. I think I said something like, I'm a black woman. I'm literally like bobbing my head and singing this song, which feels a little bit wrong, but it's catchy and I like the rock edge. Come on. That has 166 replies, probably from a lot of other people of color. And then another one says, Roderick, I cannot pronounce your last name, says, I'm black and I agree with this dude. There is only one race, the human race. Roderick replied twice. And he actually watched this video twice because it's like 2 months ago and then 1 month ago. He has 909 likes on that first response, so a lot of people agree. Yeah, it is really refreshing to see in a comment the reaction community that there were a lot of people of color reacting to this music video and saying like, I agree with this. Because as much as the media try to make it seem like all black people think the same, act the same, speak the same, talk the same, walk the same, that's not true. And this, quite frankly, there's a lot of black people who don't go by the narrative but feel scared to say anything because they feel like there's pressure to have to go with the narrative. Like, for instance, for me, like, racism is really not, like, almost a non-factor in my life. Yes, I've been profiled a couple of times and I've been called the N-word a couple of times, but as being a big factor in my life where I feel like it's hindered me so much, no, that's not a big factor. And I know a lot of other people of color that feel that way, but feel a need to sort of go along with the narrative of like, oh, black people are always terrified to go outside and we feel hunted and stuff like that because everyone else is saying it. But a lot of people actually don't agree with that. It's just the mainstream narrative that is telling you, and a lot of other people of color who buy into that because they want likes and they want to seem woke and all those things. Not that I'm saying that there's no people of color that really believe in it, but a lot of it is just virtual signaling. So yeah, that was White Boy. Sorry that this video is long, but this is the nature of my channel. I would never be a reaction video channel that just bobs their head and 3 minutes later tells you thank you, like, comment, and subscribe. Like, this is a conversation. I love talking about stuff like this. I love intellectual conversations and just digging deep into things. And if you like that, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let's reach 500 subscribers. That is my first goal. Let's do this together. I want this to be a community. I would love some comments on what you guys think. If you think I'm completely wrong, let me know. If you think I'm onto something, let me know. If you agree, whatever. And if you want me to react and review to any other Tom MacDonald songs, please put it in a comment in the comment section below. I think I have literally listened to every song he has except maybe one. So it will be a reaction review, not just a first reaction, you know what I mean? But if you want to talk about it and have a conversation about it, let's do that. Why freedom of speech still exists. Anyway, that's it. Or if you want me to react and comment to anything else on the internet, because I will not be doing just songs. I know I've done a lot of songs in the beginning of this channel, but I am going to be doing other things. So if there's any video, meme, tweet, or anything you want me to react to, please let me know. And thank you. Bye.